هذا أنا vilken stiftule doorsen Lecsyony Tsëbtyop. That's that in we don't Lecsyony Lecsyony. So we are back here to finish our lesson 12. So I'm just gonna again pull my PDF files, and so for 12.5 we're gonna be looking at some of the Spanish verb. Using Boro Spanish verbs with the verb rule. Okay, so one of the things that we find in Valley Zapotec is that we have some Spanish Boro words, and we use that with the verb ruin, and then as you guys can see here, alabar, it comes from Spanish, the infinitive, and there are several verbs that work in this way, so we're going to be looking at some of them. And please keep reading the details because that's a lot to go over in such a short period of time. So I would expect you guys to look at the details in this section, and you'll see that a lot of the words that we use nowadays are borrowed from Spanish. But I think that what's interesting is this verb that has a lot of infinitive Spanish form after it. So, and that's the ones that we're going to be looking at in this lesson. So, for example, in this sentence, the doctor praised the cook. So the way that we borrow the infinitive into Zapotec is we have the verb ruin and then alabar. So we would say ruinra doctor, alabar cociner. So again, the doctors are the subject, so it's going to come right after the verb ruin. Okay, so the Spanish borrow infinitive is going to stay there like that, so we are not going to do anything with it. So the again, the subject is going to be coming right after the Zapotec verb ruin. So as I said, the doctors praise the cook, we would say ruinra doctor, alabar cociner. Or I understand you, I said ruine comprenderlo. Again, this the pronoun comes right after the verb ruin. And so it works the same way in other sentences. They will defend us. Wunder defender the non. Runlele nadar. Kayunyum na tomar fot. Okay. Or kayunyum na tomar fot le better. The woman is taking a picture of Petra. So this is the way that the pattern works. So you have the form of ruin, right? So, and then you have the subject. What is the bound pronoun, proper noun, or just a noun? And then we have the borrow infinitive, the Spanish word, a verb, infinitive verb, such as this one, comprender, nadar, tomar, and then we have the rest of the sentence. Okay, so we'll continue looking at some of these, rather reading some of these sentences with the verb ruin. Okay, and then we can also, it can be focus as well. So here, Juan is the focus word. So we start the sentence in Zapotec with Juan, right? As you guys probably, and I keep repeating myself, but I just, just so you guys can be aware of, if in case that you forget, I know it's sometimes it's easy to do. So we started the sentence with Juan. So Juan ruin protestar. Okay. La policía ruin sospechar lang. La policía, this is a typo, please. Should be la policía ruin sospechar lang. Juan ruin la policía sospechar. So I guess I need to come back to this one and fix it. And again, do your homework, and then I will continue going over some of the sentences. And now we have the complex verb with ruin. So we have some of this complex verb, meaning that we have ruin and then something else, like with for example, this one, cast shadow or gives shade, right? So we would say ruin ruin. ruin kol, ruin contest, ruin gasht, ruin guhan. Again, ruin guhan. That's a breathy vowel, okay? Ruin mandat, ruin schap, ruin zain. So as you guys can see, these complex verbs, some of them are we are using Spanish borrowed words, and some of them are just two words from Zapotec, and the subject is going to go after ruin. For example, if I were going to say the tree cast shade, I would say ruin yakvda. So it would be the subject is right between these two words, okay? And the other complex verb is ruin contest. So we have ruin, and then we have contest with Spanish borrowed word. Okay, so here we go. This is the pattern in which we do that. So form of ruin, subject, second word, and rest of the sentence. And then now we have examples here of how that works. As I said, that if we are going to say the tree casts a shadow, and we say ruin yagovda, so it's right here where you insert the subject. Or if we say, then the man made a charitable donation, chik bain buin guan. So it's bain, buin person, and ruin guan, right? So that's ruin guan. But who is doing it is the person. So we insert the subject, the one who is doing the action, right after the verb. Okay. So next, we would ask if we're asking a question such as this one: is the priest going to work? And I would say, it's a yes/no question. So we have the a at the end. So again, all right. So with the verb ruin, it changes. So again, please try to memorize it, or memorize the way in which it is changed, whether it's imperfective, irrealis, and also for the third person. But it's just such an irregular verb. I would just suggest that you guys should memorize it. Okay, next sentence. Elena isn't thinking. Kit kayun di Elena schaf. Kit kayun di Elena schaf. Or a command. Answer, you guys. Ulgun contest. Ulgun contest. Okay. So just a reminder on the negative sentences, don't forget your DI or DYs, and you know how it works by now. Okay, if not, go back to the lesson where we talked about the patterns, how to make negative sentences. So here we have the pattern of the complex verb sentence. So we have the form of ruin, subject, second word, and the rest of the sentence, such as the ruin yagavda, and so forth. These are the sentences that just went over. Okay, so again, please continue reading the details. Okay. So here, chicken cake don't count as separate part of the pattern. For example, ulgulla contest is a plural command, as you guys know. So it follows a different pattern that will before the verb, and like an imperative, it does not have a subject after the verb, like ulgun contest, right? And we've looked at some of these imperatives in other lessons. So, and again, as usual, we have a focus sentence here. So if we say the tree casts shadow, right, we start the sentence with ya, and do your homework. And then now we're gonna be looking at complex verb with objects. Okay, so let's look at this some of these complex verbs here, which I'll go over. So ruin arreglat, okay, arranges for something. Ruin bis, ruin company, ruin castiu, Run kas. Run dain. Run fald. Run gan. Run mandat. Run us. Run stan. Okay, so now let's look how does that work with objects. So now we need a subject and we need an object. So if I say that he arranged for a passport, so Benyon arreglat passport. So this is the object, and he did it. He, so this is the subject and the object. Okay, and the next one is Benyon na mandadam niin. The woman gave the child an errand. Okay, who did the action? She did it. Who's the one who she ordered to do it? That's the niin is the object. Okay, and next is Runipshad Dan Yele. Again, Runipshad Dan Yele. Do chapulines make Miguel sick? So again, so this is the subject and the object. Next, Roin Kumbet Kayun Kasmes. So it's Geronimo. Roin Kumbet Ruin Kasmes. All right, so it should be Geronimo. It is Geronimo. Geronimo and Pedro are paying attention to the teacher. Again, Ruin. Roin con Pedro in Casmas. Okay, next. Why is the priest going to work as a waiter? That's a funny question, but I like that. Shini gunipshu stemeser. Shini gunipshu stemeser. Okay, next. Cayuña was computador. Cayuña was computador. Next. Benjamin Falt Square. Benjamin Falt Square. Okay, guys, so please keep repeating these sentences because that's the only way that you guys will be able to say them properly. Okay, so this is the complex verb sentence pattern. So we have again the verb, the subject, the second word, and the object, and then the rest of the sentence. Okay. So I hope this is clear. If not, go back to reading the details so you can remind yourself of something that you miss in doing the homework, for instance. So, and again, we have focus sentences here, and I'm just gonna say the sentences quickly here. So, Shadrun dan ye, Shadrun dan ye, Yel run shad dan, Yel run shad dan. Juan ben Faldrick. Juan ben Faldrick. Rig ben Juan Fald. Rig ben Juan Fald. Okay. Homework again. And now we're going to be looking at the complex verb in the vocab. So we have these complex verbs that we introduced. So if you guys remember, it's runyabda, cast a shadow, rumbis, runkas, runcastiu, runcol, runcompany, ruinzain. Okay, so I'm gonna go say them one more time. Runyabda, ruinbis, runkas, runcastiu, runcol, runcompany, ruinzain. Okay. So here are some examples using them. Recall, that's the subject. Remember, the subject goes there after the verb. Ruin. Ruin yagavda. Here we have other examples. Kayunyum kasmas. And a negative sentence. Kaitirengu compañna. So guys, just negative sentence. Please be aware of the IDY's usage, okay? Next, mesgun castium nin. masculine question in focus sentence. Diopun kayun zain. Diopun kayun zain. All right. Buenre gun kol. Buenre gun kol. Again, the verb ruin, it changes. Okay. And then we have other sentences here. Mesrun bis. Mesrun bis. There should be E with 2 dots, so I'll fix that as well. Back, in bed, Castillo. Back, in bed, Castillo. Another focus sentence, okay. And then continue doing your homework. We are almost there. This is Tareaga. Remember, we have, if you haven't noticed, but we have all the way to Tareatsu in every lesson. So one more and you guys will be done. So now we have compound verbs with drawing. So we look at the complex verbs, and now we're going to be looking at compound verbs with drawing. So we already look at this verb, ruin plus be, right? Rumbe, no, so it begins with ruin and includes another part. So let's look at how that works. So in these examples that we have here, we have Ruinstein takes possession of. So it is ruin plus Stein. Okay, so we put that together. That's why it's called a compound verb. So or this one ruinfall that you already look at ruin plus fall, but this one is a compound verb. So it's the fall is part of the ruin verb. And again, here we have another one, ruinton, right? So, and then we have here ruin plus zak. So we have this verb, compound verb, this is ruinzak. And then we have another one, ruinjab. As you guys can see here, right? So we have the verb ruin, and we have another part of the verb. So I'm gonna say them one more time so you guys know how to pronounce them. So please repeat after me. Ruinstein, Ruinstein, Ruinfall, Ruinfall, Ruinton, Ruinton, Ruinzak, Ruinzak, Ruinjab, Ruinjab. Okay, so the way that we use them is, for example, if I want to say Chico took possession of the car, I would say Benisten Chepkar, Benisten Chepkar, or Mike needs medicine. Runfal Yale Lermoid, Runfal Yale Lermoid. If you guys remember, previously we looked at the verb ruin plus fal, right? Which is we have the subject now after the fal, and other verbs where you split them and you have ruin. I could say, for example, if I say ruin fal, like he missed school, right? But here, this the verb itself, runfal, it has another meaning, such as a need. Runfal yel mood. Or if I said you are acting stupid, I would say kayun tono, kayun tono. And this we can also have focus sentences. Pedro will fix the car, right? It is Pedro, not somebody else. So, Bad kayun zak kar. I'm sorry. Bad unzak kar. Again, bad unzak kar. The boy is not behaving badly. Kit kayun jabdi mniin. Kit kayun jabdi mniin. Ah, okay. This is a really good example in terms of the difference between the compound verb and the complex verb. So on the compound verb, we have ruin plus the other part of the verb attached to ruin. So, which means need. So, and then the subject goes right after the compound verb. So to say Mike needs medicine, we'll say Runfal gelir mood, okay? But then here the Run and Fal is split. So there is a space between those two, right? So if we say Mike misses school, and then we would insert Yale between the Run and Fal square. So I hope that, that makes sense. But that's one of the difference between the compound verb and complex verb. It's that for the compound verb, the fal it's attached as part of the verb, whereas runfal it's separate. All right. So please go over the verbs, the compound verb and the complex verbs. As if there are any questions, read the details, do your homework, and I think that that's the end of our lesson for today, for this week. So please do your homework, go back and listen to the words and practice. So that's the only, well, I mean, practice is a way of learning a language. Okay. So all right, guys, so I hope you have enjoyed this quarter. So for some of you, I will see you on Friday on Zoom class. All right, take care and have a great day.